Hello everybody. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie, back again with another video. Well, you saw the video earlier about, when I was trading the Coca-Cola contract. I haven't cashed out as yet because it went up to 135, and that puts me at a $50 thing there, $50 profit. And I know it's gonna continue to climb for today. There's no, like, the only way it's going to basically drop is if people just decide to just sell like them non blasted cents. You understand? So I'm gonna take time and look at it by the time I reach work, because work is 1.5 hours away. By the time I reach work, I should basically see what's going on and see if I should just sell. And then I'm also getting alerts if it dropped down to too much, and I'm watching it on my phone right now. So listen, here's what I want to talk about, and I think it's a very serious topic, and it goes back to the movie Remember the Titans. You remember the part where Denzel Washington was like shouting and yelling at the one of his black players, right? And the white player basically, the white coach basically came over to him and just like took him out and let him play on his side and stuff like that. And whatever it is, and then Denzel basically confronts him and say, yo, don't do that. And he's like, I tell them what they need to hear, but I don't, like, blah 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 blah. And he's basically saying, listen, I do this to the white kids too as well, but I don't see you basically like, coddling them. You understand? And he basically said, listen, I might be a mean coach, but I'm the same mean coach with both whites and blacks. And when you do stuff like that to black kids, what you're basically doing is cutting their feet from underneath them. And I holistically 100% agree with that. Right? And this is the second time I've ended up in a situation like this, where there's a parent who wants her child coddled, and you're like, no, everybody that comes into the gym, it doesn't matter the race, they have to work hard for me to get them to where they need to be, right? So why is it that I should like basically coddle your child and then let her fall behind, and then you still turn around and blame me because your child is not keeping up with everybody else? Now I'm going to talk about the situation. You see me? I'm going to talk about the first situation where this happened. I was working for a gym. It's called Tom Kids Gymnastics. That gym no longer exists. It was bought up by a gym called Thundercats. The owner of the gym was a white woman, and we butt heads where my disciplinary coaching skills were concerned. So here's what happened. At one point in time, I was called into the office. I've made this video before, but I want to make it again because I think it's a very important video. I was called into the office, right? And the boss was telling me about how I'm a bully. And I say, how so? How am I a bully? She's like, the one black girl on the team, she already has a self-image problem. She's coming to gymnastics late. You're making her do 100 jumping jacks. And I'm like, how is that bullying? Everybody does 100 jumping jacks. Why is it that when she comes, why should she be special? Just because she should be doing 200 because she's overweight. I don't care about this whole self-image problem. You understand? If you parents have a problem with your child and their self-image, don't put them in sports that require them to work hard and delete that self-image. I'm not saying I'm going to be cruel to the child, but why is it that I have to basically tone down the training that everybody else is taking? Everybody else don't have a problem with the training. Why is it that your child has to be treated differently? Right? So I'm like saying, okay, I lay it out to her. I said to her, listen, boss, she's the only black girl in class, right? That is on level 3 and cannot do a pullover. She is the only...
New text message from Brandon Goddard, financial advice.
Yeah, she's the only black girl that can't do 100 jumping jacks. But you don't say nothing about all the other freaking ethnicities that are on the freaking team, that are doing every freaking thing I tell them to do, and with oomph behind it. But the one little plump, right? Because you know I can't use certain words on YouTube. This girl is severely overweight and on a team. What is she doing on a team? A lot of coaches want to ask that question a lot of times. When they're sketchy, when gym owners, right? Gym owners put sketchy children on a team that obviously do not belong there, right? These children are a severe problem to coaches because they can cause injury to coaches who have to spot them, which shows me that you don't even care about your coaches. Right? I'm not about this whole body positivity thing. I'm not into everybody gets accepted. That's not how things are. In life, you have some winners and some losers. You have to change your image. I'm not speaking against the mother. The mother is coming in and complaining, and she was complaining to my boss. I'm like, she should seriously approach me so I could gently tell her that, you know, listen, because there are times, you know, I've worked with certain gyms that I've worked in, and you have black people approach me about their child and they feel like their child is falling behind, right? And I look at them and I seriously tell them, okay, listen, like I pull them to the side where there's no cameras and there's nobody else to hear me talk to them. I don't do it out in the public unless it's just like PR type of conversations, right? Every coach, every gym owner have something we call PR type of conversations. I pull them to the side and I say, hey, listen, this is the skin color and this is their skin color. Here's what you have to understand. You have to do this 50 times. You have to do this 75 times. You have to do this 4 laps. You understand? And this is what I basically break down to some black parents to help them to understand that, hey, everybody is practically doing this and not complaining about it. Right? But you always have that single mother that wants you as a black man to coddle her friggin' child. Because how dare you speak to her child in any manner that makes her more self-aware of the image that she shouldn't have while being a gymnast. In a sport that requires you to be a certain weight in order to basically not break certain parts of your body. Why are gym owners putting sketchy children on team that obviously do not belong there? This is why a lot of coaches tend to leave gyms. I remember when I first started working I worked in a PC gym. And when I mean PC, the gym was 100% politically correct. I couldn't talk to the children certain ways. I couldn't tell them no certain ways. Oh, yeah, instead of saying no, say this to them. No, tell a child no. The gym was extremely PC. And they allowed a girl who was extremely overweight, and I mean extremely overweight. I'm talking about a 12-year-old that I could not spot. And at that time, I was pumping 170 pounds. This is a literal redhead girl, overweight little girl, that I could not spot for a back hip circle. And it began to upset me. Because one day my back got hurt. You understand? I had a pinched nerve and it was swollen for an entire week. Something that happens to me very rarely. And I basically decided that, yo, I'm not with this type of thing. And I basically approached my boss and I said, hey, listen. I'm not like that girl and stuff like that. You guys always put her with me because you know I'm strong enough to spot her. I'm not doing that anymore because I hurt my back doing it. And it's obvious you don't care. You care about her so-called self-image, but you don't care about my well-being. Right? So anyway, let's get back to this first story that I'm talking about. So anyway, so she goes off and yells about how I'm bullying the girl. I don't want to teach her certain skills and blah 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 blah. So I said to her, listen, this girl don't have a backward roll. She don't have a back bend. She don't have a bridge kick over. Why am I teaching her back end spring when she can barely back bend? Barely back bend. And all I hear is that you're bullying the girl and stuff like that, and we have it on camera and stuff like that. I say, yo, let's review the camera right now, because you will never see me bullying that girl. You will see me tell that girl that I am not teaching her that skill. For her own safety and well-being, and for my own safety and well-being. Because I am not going to spot a heavy child. So she basically pulls up the camera, right? And like I said before, I don't like calling people's names, but she still owes me an apology. She still owes me an apology. You see me? Excuse me? She still owes me an apology. She pulls up the camera, right? She pulls up the camera feed from that day in particular, where she claims I was caught bullying the child. Do you know what she saw? Instead of me bullying the child, she saw me encouraging the child. She saw me walking around the child, making sure the child did her skills right. She saw me even try to spot the child, right? Even though I'm not supposed to be spotting a child of that weight and that caliber for certain skills. You see me? That's all she saw, and she did not apologize. Here's her excuse. Oh, well, you didn't encourage her enough. And it was on that day, right? The 2 days after that, where my pay was basically messed up. I was like, no. You know what? I am going to walk. And I decided to walk. I decided to walk away from that job. You have a feminist that think that she's better than me, and she's obviously not. She doesn't know anything to the experience that I know about gymnastics. She thinks that she should be in the position that I am in. She thinks she's a better coach. Okay, I said, okay. You think you can do it? Well, so be it. Give her that position, but I am out. And I walked off the job. You understand? Just make her, right after I received my check, I was like, yo, F that, I'm out. Cash my check and just send them a letter, say, yo, I'm resigning effective immediately. People, do not be afraid to walk off of jobs. You should not be afraid to know what your worth and your value is as a person. You should not be afraid to basically take a stand for yourself and let them know that you're not doing certain things. right? If they want you to do certain things, they need to pay for it. Now, fast forward to the situation that just happened yesterday. Right? Let's fast forward to the situation that just happened yesterday. So, this girl is the only dark-skinned girl on the pre-team. Right? She's the only dark-skinned girl on the pre-team. And as I said before, this is my main problem with you know, not making sure that children belong there on a team. Right? I don't care. Like, this whole thing about money must come from everywhere and we must make profit anyway, whichever way, how. I'm gonna let all bosses know in gymnastics, you're gonna piss off your coaches and they're gonna walk off the job, because coaches get sick and tired of that type of mentality where their well-being is always placed on the side, and your so-called profit is placed above them. You understand? When they're the persons actually making you the profit. So anyway, here's my thing now. So this little girl, she's very, very tiny. Good weight class and stuff like that. I honestly, really and truly believe she can go very far. So, you know, the first pre-team practice we had, she practically, you know, we went to vault. We're learning how to hit the board hard, to put both our feet on the board, etc., etc., etc. The thing about children is that children compare themselves to other children a lot. And because of that, they may feel like they are a failure, or they're not gonna get it, or etc., etc., etc. And so this child begins to cry. So I approach her now and say, hey, what's up? Why are you crying? She says, I can't get it, and stuff like that. So I kind of like, you know, hey, everything will be all right. Everything will be okay. Everything will be cool. And whatever it is. And, you know, everything will be cool and whatever it is. And, just do your best. Don't worry about it. And this is what I tell kids all the time. Make as much mistakes as you can, right? Because when you're on team, that's the process of actually learning to become better. Because when you make certain mistakes and your coach corrects you, then you're able to make the correction. But when you don't make a mistake, that means that the coach should just be teaching you new skills, or you shouldn't have a coach, period, because, you know, you're doing well enough without a coach. In any case now, so, you know, that day comes off, and next day happens. Everybody's doing cartwheels. We're doing cartwheels on the line, practicing that for straighter cartwheels and cartwheels on the beam. She begins to cry again. I come up again, start hugging her. Hey, what's the problem? I'm not getting it. I said, well, just keep practicing. Don't even think about it. Don't watch anybody else. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. You know, she continues to cry. Okay, I just leave her, let her cry, and attend to the other kids. Guess what? There are 6 other kids in the class that need my freaking attention. I can't sit down. I cannot sit down and babysit. When you're coaching, you're not a babysitter. You're here to teach skills to kids. You understand? If you want a babysitter, if you black women want a freaking babysitter, freaking order one from a babysitting app. When you freaking bring them to gymnastics, expect them to be learning skills and working hard. So, in any case now, she finishes crying, she comes back in, she practices, she finishes her cartwheel. We go to our next skill, she doesn't cry about that, we keep working, we keep working, we keep working. Third practice now with her, we go back to vault again, she's crying again. She's crying again. She literally comes over to me. I say to her, you know, I'm asking her, what is the problem this time? Same issue as last time. Wants somebody to coddle her. And what I realize she's doing is taking advantage of me being sympathetic to her blasted tears. So I say to her, listen, cry, go and sit down over there and cry. I don't have time for this. And when you're done crying and you feel better, then you can rejoin practice. Every single practice she is crying. Then she obviously does not belong there. She obviously does not belong on pre-team. So, we have practice yesterday now. Here's what happened at practice yesterday. So, in practice yesterday, we're basically doing conditioning. Conditioning stations. She starts crying. She starts crying. Oh, I need to go use the bathroom. I said, okay, next time, use the bathroom before you come to practice. Because you have children, when it's time to do conditioning, all of a sudden they need to use the bathroom. And a lot of coaches know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going to use this as a YouTube short. When it comes down to conditioning and working out and building muscles, a lot of students always have to use the bathroom. And it's even funnier that they know how long the conditioning takes, and that's how long they're in the bathroom for. Tell me I'm lying, coaches, because you know I'm not lying. So anyway, I say to her, okay, go use the bathroom. Next time, make sure before you start practice, use the bathroom before you start practice. Because we have a long practice. There's so much for you to learn and stuff like that. And, you know, I don't want you to miss any of it. She goes out. She's crying to her mom, obviously, blah, 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 blah. The mom goes to the front desk. Right? The mom goes to the front desk and starts to complain. What I heard, she was very nice. She was very, you know, reasonable, etc. And, you know, I don't care if you're reasonable or not complaining about these types of things. So, you know, after I'm done coaching the whole night, my boss approached me and she's like, you know, this particular student is afraid of you and, you know, blah, 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 blah. And I heard that you told her to stay outside with her emotions and stuff like that. I said, no, I did not say that. I did not say that. I told her if she's going to cry, sit down there and cry because I'm not going to deal with it. You understand? And I said to her again, and I'm like, listen, I'm not, you guys already know this and stuff like that. But I'm not a babysitter and I'm not going to be any babysitter for anybody right now. And I'm like, yo, so my boss is like, you know, you need to be softer on her or softer on everybody and stuff like that. And I said to her, and I pointed this out. I pointed this out again. Right? This is the second time in my career I have to point this out to white people so that they understand. I said, every single white girl I coach, and it's a very rare thing for the children, the white children that I coach, to basically want to give up, quit, or cry to their parents. Right? You might call me mean, but I'm basically mean all around the board. Everybody can tell you about Coach Kermani. Coach Kermani is mean right across the board. I don't care what skin color you are. You're going to get this mouth. You're going to get yelled at if you do wrong. And you're going to do your conditioning. You're going to work hard. And then I'll high five you if you do good. But I will correct you when corrections need to be had. So, I said to her, every freaking white girl is doing fine. But the minute this little black girl cannot do something, I as a black man must coddle her. But I'm saying this to say this. If it were a white coach, a white male coach, coaching the same way I coach, coaching the conditionings the way I coach, and her little black daughter came out of the gym and said to her, "Mommy, coach is coaching too hard," she would literally turn around and tell that girl, "Suck it up and go back in there." I don't want nobody tell me nothing, because that's the truth. That's the God honest truth. That if it was a white male coach, you wouldn't be complaining about me being harsh on her, which I am not harsh on her. Everybody is doing the same exercise. Everybody is doing the same exercise. Nobody is complaining except your little black daughter. And this is why a lot of white people in society feel as if we as a black people cannot rise to the occasion, cannot compete with them. Right? And I don't think it's even against gymnastics itself. It's the mere fact that it was, how dare a black man tell your daughter to do better. How dare a black man basically try to help your daughter to do better. I can guarantee you, if it was a white coach coaching her daughter, she would have told that girl to suck it up and get back in class. I'm paying too much money for you to be like crying like a little baby. And this is how black women are. But when it comes down to a black man, how dare you as a black man speak to my child in such a manner? How dare you as a black man push my child hard to do better? Until, I don't know. I don't see the other children basically behaving in this manner. I don't see the other children, and I don't treat them differently. I don't treat children differently because of them skin color. You understand? And for me, every time I see a black child, I'm so happy to see a black child. I'm so very happy to see a black child in gymnastics. You understand? Because I want more of us in gymnastics. I want more of us to do better at sports. I want more of us to rise up in these types of sports. Gymnastics is not cheap. It's expensive. You think Simone Biles got to where she was because she had no money? They had to pay for that freaking training. You think her coach was nice to her? You think her coach was don't cry. Her coach would be like, yo, get back on that beam and do that 10 more times and stop the foolishness right now. Coaches, tell me I am lying. Tell me I am lying, coaches. Gymnastics coaches, tell me I am lying. Tell me I'm lying, coaches. You gotta let me know if I'm lying. I know I'm not lying. I know I am not lying. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm saying, like, there's this problem in the black community in which we want to be coddled. You understand? And most of the times it comes from children from single mothers. But I don't even know, and let me not accuse this woman. I know the first story I told you where the little girl that didn't want to do the 100 jumping jacks, you know, her mother was a single mother and stuff. And I'm not aware of if this woman is a single mother either. So I don't want to place blame where it shouldn't go. But this it is family. Right? This it is. We have to rise up and stop this whole whole heap of baby foolishness. You understand? And we have to stop this whole thing of idolizing one skin color and demonizing another skin color, even if it's our own. Because like I said before, I can guarantee you, if it was a white male coach who did the same things that I do, say it the same way I say it, she wouldn't have a problem with it. She would definitely tell her daughter to suck it up and get back in class. And this is problematic as black people, in which we don't want to see the problem that's within us. We're willing to kowtow to everybody else, right? But the minute we're supposed to kowtow to our own people, it's a problem, because we don't see the value in our own people either. Now, if I were to be bullying the child, of course not. Make a complaint, say that you believe that the coach is bullying your child, you believe that the child is being singled out, etc. I agree. I agree that you should make that point. You should say, hey, I feel like he's kind of picking on my child. But I've had to basically help your child more than any other child in the preteen practice. And I'm helping your child more than the other children in the preteen practice. One out of two reasons. One, because we share the same skin color. And I want to see her thrive. I definitely want to see her thrive. Two, if I don't help her, she's going to fall behind everybody else. Then you're going to complain that she's falling behind everybody else. Then I'm going to get a complaint from my bosses that why is this one student, who is the black student, the only black student, falling behind the other white students. And that, my friends, is how there's a whole domino effect from you coddling a child. Now, of course, my boss and I spoke about it, and I said to them that I'm going to try different methods to basically make her, but the thing is that I'm obviously going to have to reduce her exercises, which is going to cause her to fall behind the other students, which is going to cause the domino effect anyway. So right now, I look at it as damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it is what it is at this point. If I'm like, I look at my boss and said, listen, man, I'm only doing this because of you guys. I'm not doing this because of this client. You understand? Because I even expressed it to her. I said, listen, you do know if I do it like this, she's going to fall behind everybody else. And then that's gonna create a whole other issue. And she says, you need to be gentle all around. I was like, the other children don't mind me being this way. It's just this black child and her mom. Because how dare I speak to her daughter like in an authoritative manner as a black man. I can do it to other white girls, or I can do it to little white girls, but can't do it to black girls, right? And this is the fundamental problem that we're having right now. This is why you have so many, conservative black people talking about this whole thing of fatherless homes and, whatever it is. I'm not with that whole movement. But like I said before, it's not like what they're saying isn't true. Anyway, this is the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie. Peace. I am out.